Ever wonder what gives this piece of paper its value? Well, it's probably not what you think. It's not backed by gold, silver, or anything tangible. Yet it runs the world. Welcome to Bear Economics. Today we're diving into the world of fiat money, the engine behind modern economies, and why it's both loved and feared. From gold coins to digital dollars, money has evolved. But what about fiat money? It's a system built on trust, not treasure. Well, really, it's a system based on nothing. Let's get into it. What is fiat money? Let's start with the basics. Fiat money is a currency because the government says it has value. It's not backed by any physical commodity, such as gold or silver. Its value comes entirely in the trust people have in their government and its stability. In Latin, fiat means let it be done, or because I say so, essentially. In this case, it's the government saying, let this be money. And then we all just agree to use it in exchange for goods and services. So a little on the history of fiat money. Fiat money isn't a new idea. The first use was in China during the Tang Dynasty in the 7th century. Fast forward to 18th century Europe, where banknotes started to replace gold and silver coins. But it was the 20th century that fiat money took over globally. In 1971, the United States officially abandoned the gold currency under the Nixon administration. This marked the beginning of a global fiat money system, where currencies were no longer tied to gold. We allowed the currency to float. Fiat money only works because of trust, and people trust the government to maintain its currency's value. And here's how it functions. You have central bank control supply. So you have institutions like the Federal Reserve that control how much money is printed or created. Taxes and legal tender laws. So governments require taxes to be paid in fiat currency, creating the demand. Circulation. Businesses and individuals use fiat currencies for transactions because everyone accepts it. Unlike gold or Bitcoin, fiat money isn't limited in supply. Central banks can create as much as they want, which, as you'll see, is both a strength and a major weakness. As much as I dislike fiat currency, it does have a few advantages. Flexibility. Central banks can increase or decrease money supply to manage inflation, unemployment, or economic growth. It's cost efficient. It costs basically nothing to create because there's no value behind it. The substance that's used is just how much it costs for this actual material and the ink and the factories in which it's made or plants in which it's produced, which is way cheaper than mining for silver or gold because that takes real world energy to get those things because those things are finite and are scarce. It supports modern economies. Large-scale economies and global trade rely on fiat money for liquidity and ease of transactions. This is why governments can fund all these huge projects like highways, schools, without waiting for gold to be dug up from the ground because it costs them nothing to make. Now, the risks and criticisms of fiat money, and there are plenty. Its greatest strength, unlimited supply. Also, its greatest risk. Here are the dangers. 1. Inflation and hyperinflation. Printing too much money can cause prices to spiral out of control. Modern day examples of this, Zimbabwe and Venezuela, where the fiat currencies lost almost all of their value in a really short period of time. 2. Debt dependency. Governments often rely on fiat money to finance debt because fiat system is a debt-based system, which can lead to unstable borrowing. Borrowing money just to pay the interest on the money you already borrowed. Not a good system. And 3, trust erosion. If people lost enough trust in the government or the central banks, fiat money would collapse because there's nothing behind that dollar except for full faith of the people, really. Fiat money works until it doesn't. There's never been a civilization that has gone the fiat route and not collapsed financially. So how does fiat money compare to alternatives like commodities or cryptocurrencies? Fiat money, flexible, has benefits, but very vulnerable to inflation, which always hurts middle and low class the most. Gold, very stable, but impractical in modern economies, only in the sense of the exchange portion. Over the internet, boom, I can buy something by pressing a button immediately because it's all electronic signals being sent back and forth to different banks from bank to bank. And, then it's in your account immediately, or it leaves your account immediately. With gold, it's a physical thing, and it's really hard to send physical real world things back and forth in the real world. Very hard to be done. So, Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, decentralized and limited in supply, but also highly volatile. But there are extreme advantages to those things because over time, the value will increase exponentially because there's only a finite amount. Now remember, as the great Thomas Sowell once said, there are no solutions to any of this. There are only trade-offs. But unfortunately, fiat money remains dominant because of its convenience and scalability. So why the heck does fiat money matter to you? Fiat money impacts your daily life more than you realize. From your paycheck to the cost of groceries, it's all tied to the value of fiat currency. Understanding fiat money helps you make better decisions about saving, investing, and even preparing for that potential inflation that's going to happen. So there we go. Fiat money explained. It's a system built on trust and managed by governments and central banks. It powers the modern economy, but comes with risks we definitely can't ignore. So what do you think? Is fiat money the best option? Or is it time for a change like a lot of us feel? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, if you found this video helpful or interesting, please subscribe, like, and comment below. Until next time.